Congratulations.
You
Yours.
hacking me?
I can't even ping you. What the fuck? I think my
Adan.
computer can't get to my router interface, so I think something's wrong.
Pendeja.
Oh no.
It's not like I do this for a job or anything.
Fuck no, you don't.
Is everyone here?
Yes. For
Is
once.
Scott here? He wasn't saying anything for a bit.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's gone. We lost him.
He's gone.
Wait, are you guys playing right now?
Well, we
Yeah.
were playing while we were waiting for Alex.
God damn, dude. It's way too much food.
What'd you eat, Alex? Penis?
Fucking katsu bento, some gyoza, and some California
Some
rolled in.
gyazos.
Some
Sushi?
ALMAO.
Some sushi. Isn't that sushis?
Yes.
Is that actual sushi, like with sushi in it, or is it like a vegetarian?
It has like
Oh, I see what I
avocado.
did wrong.
It has avocado, cucumber, and like crab meat.
See, that sounds like a bomb sushi.
Oh, it's
I
fucking
don't
delicious.
fuck with sushi.
Yeah, neither do I. That's the only one I can eat, dude. I hate the raw fish on top.
Yeah, I
Mm,
can't.
gross.
Yeah, that's I can't do that.
Sushi here is garbage.
Sushi in Denver?
No, here in I'm here in
Oh.
Nebraska. I've tried it from like three different places, but
It
we
all
just
tastes the
recently
same, doesn't
tried
it?
a new place. Dude, their cuts of fish is just
Puto
Puto
terrible.
garbage.
It's like it has a super fishy taste, and it doesn't really taste like good fish.
Because it had to fucking get to the middle of the goddamn continental United States.
Yeah, I mean, same with Denver because there's nothing around there. But I think they do like apparently some of the restaurants do like same day shipping on some fish.
Who
things
comes to
like that.
Nebraska for fucking sushi, dude?
Fucking
The sushi
retard,
capital of
dude.
the world.
For anything.
It used to be a little
Nebraska.
good.
Nothing
that-
a little.
At least
Soy
it's
sauce can't.
edible, dude.
Yeah, the rices.
Actually feeling okay?
Yeah, why?
Coronavirus.
Okay. Yesterday, dude.
You want like the whole everything?
Anything you're willing to tell us.
So I obviously I took the edible around like 10:30.
What was it again? It was a brownie.
It was
or
like a Rice Krispies, but not like the Snap Crackle Pop kind, but it was made from the Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, delicioso.
But it fucking reeked of fucking weed. So it made me gag. Of course, it made me
As it
gag while I
should.
was eating it. I don't know. Like I thought, okay, my impression was I'm gonna eat this. It'll hit me in an hour, and then I'll only be high for like an hour, and I'll just go to sleep or some shit. Nope. Like if I knew what I knew now, I would have taken it a lot earlier, like right after work earlier.
That's why I was so
Um,
surprised. You're like, yeah,
yeah,
I took it a while
fucking-
ago, and it was 11. Like, said that. You're gonna be up for a while, buddy.
And yeah, like I took like okay, so it was like a small brownie, maybe like 2 inches wide.
Some good girth.
Yeah, it's an alright size. So I cut that into fourths, and of course I take one, Elizabeth takes one, and I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, well, I only took a fourth of it. I like to take the whole thing, so it shouldn't hit me that hard anyways. But after you guys told me that if it probably smells, if it reeks of weed, then it's probably strong. So then I got kind of like, son of a bitch. But it was like around midnight. Elizabeth kind of like comes into the room. Cause I want to take a shower, and she comes into the room. She's like, "Do you feel anything? Like I feel really weird." I'm like, okay, that hasn't hit me yet. Then she starts freaking out. I don't know, like terrified. I'm like, what the
she
fuck?
see shadow people or what?
No, she just.
Shadow
That's
people.
what I thought too. I was like, do you feel like someone's chasing you? Do you feel like someone's in the house? Like, well, she's like, no, I just feel scared.
You get a little bit of that existential dread, dude.
Pretty much, I guess. But afterward, like after a while, she just started like violently shaking. But I thought like, oh, she must be cold or something, you know. So I wrapped her in a blanket. I was just like, I put on some Disney music so she can like chill too. But no, she kept like shaking and shaking and shaking. I was like, fuck, dude, she must be like freezing or some shit. But no. Eventually, around nearly 3 o'clock in the morning, she finally comes down from it, and then like she gets from the bed, and so do I. But like I can't move. I'm like, okay, that's not good.
What
It's
the
like
fuck?
at least she's out of it, so she can take care of me now. But that's what happened. Like I felt like when I was gonna get up too, the room was just spinning real fucking fast. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
son of, and it's weird. Like,
Oh, that's-
I didn't feel like myself. Like, I felt like I was like 10 times larger than I was. Like, think of like, like if I'm wearing a Gundam suit that's just me. Like, I'm just a little person inside like this big ass body controlling it. And then
I mean,
like
you're not wrong.
the room felt so tiny, like I was cramped in in a little box. And then like of course then the room is still spinning is like really fucking fast. And then I start fucking shaking really bad.
Oh, really, dude?
Yep.
Ah, that's
I started like violently shaking. Like it was like my whole entire body was just convulsing, dude. It fucking sucked. And I started laughing because I was like when Elizabeth was shaking, I was telling her, like to kind of calm down, just take deep breaths to stop shaking, and thinking that she was just cold. But I started laughing because it's like, fuck, I was completely wrong of what Elizabeth was going through. So I just started laughing because it's like now it's happening to me. So that of course, my mouth was just dry the entire fucking night. It was god awful. Like I was chugging water like a motherfucker, and it was still dry as hell. And I remember at one point I was trying to get the water from the floor because I had like a big cup of water. But like when I went to go take a drink, like I couldn't suck out of the straw because the entire time like I felt like all my body like functions I had to be doing them manually, like blinking or breathing. So when I was trying to drink from the straw, I was frustrated because it's like, well, I can't suck up the water if I had to breathe out. How am I gonna fucking drink this water? And so it was just a struggle, dude. And then like I got up because it's like maybe if I stand up, the shakes will be not as bad and you can kind of
Fuck
chill
no.
out. Nope. So I stood up and like I'm just like violently shaking while I'm standing. And then at one point I told Elizabeth, I'm just standing there like minding my own business, and tell her, "Don't mind me, I'm just dancing over here."
Trying to play it off or what?
Yeah, like I'm not shaking because I'm scared or anything. I'm just dancing. Then like I'm like fuck, I'm just gonna go back to the bed. I don't wanna like fall over because I felt like dizzy and like I don't want to like fall and hit my head or something. So like I'm walking like my bed maybe 3 feet away from where I was standing. So I start trying to walk over, and I'm constantly asking Elizabeth, "How far away am I from the bed?" Because I swear it felt like weeks. I was like walking for days. I was just exhausted.
Jeez.
Like trying to get to the bed. I'm like, am I close? Like I should be by the bed right now. Like I don't know why it's taking forever. And then like after I got on the bed, I started crawling to my side of the bed, and that again felt really exhausting, and it felt like it took it forever just to even get to my spot. Oh, it was just such a fucking. Everything was fucking like hilarious though. I was like laughing the entire fucking time, just
Okay.
dying of fucking laughter.
So it wasn't
At least you
really
weren't getting
didn't feel like a bad trip too.
Oh no, it wasn't a bad trip. I'm just like,
Yeah.
why? Like the fact that Elizabeth was shaking too, and I was shaking. I was like, is this a normal thing? Like, do I have to expect to be shaking all the time?
It's that particular strand.
That's
Fuck if I know. My sister
I
told me
don't
she
know
only
about
put
that.
an eighth in her batch, which I don't know how much that is.
You told her afterwards what happened?
Yeah, I told her exactly what happened. And she's like, I don't know, something doesn't seem right then. But yeah, I didn't fall asleep till like five in the morning.
But when you did fall asleep, it was good or
I only slept for like 5 hours. I woke up like at 10:30.
felt refreshed or
But I
not?
felt like refreshed. I was like, wow, dude. I feel like I got some good sleep, even if it was only 5 hours. But then after I woke up, I ended up passing out again for like another like 2 or 3 hours.
Here's the real question: did you dream?
Fuck no, I don't remember anything. I literally went to use the restroom. I tried brushing my teeth as best as I could. I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down and pass out and try to get over this. I mean, of course, all through the night I was still like twitching, kind of convulsing a little bit, but I don't remember any dreams. Nothing. I just laid down and I was out.
Yeah, I don't know if you would actually dream. Or I usually don't after I have a trip.
That's one of the
Just like
symptoms, or not
knocked out.
one of the features, or whatever. Is you don't really dream.
Elizabeth
Well,
told me that I told her that like I looked off to like the wall, and I told her that we are like in a mirror, but we're not the people on the outside. We're the ones in the mirror.
What?
What the fuck?
Whoa.
And then all morning, I just felt like, you know, just really fucking relaxed, really chill.
Mm.
So it kind of carried over to the next day.
Yeah, it'll.
Definitely try smoking. Better than it's more chill.
Yeah, I mean, I was smoking. Obviously, like it's better. It's more controlled, in my opinion. And I don't know if edibles were the smart thing,
Yeah, so that,
especially for first time. Like, fuck that. That'll hit you good.
yeah, so
It's
that's the
a
reason
different
I took it because
Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth's been
That's
having falling asleep. She's been having trouble, and we originally got CBD gummies to help, but that didn't help. So Lulu told us, "I'll just take some of this. You'll fall asleep." So I thought, okay, maybe this will just make me really, really, really relaxed. Nope, it really fucked me up.
Well, you know that melatonin pills. Right?
Yeah. Melatonin's good.
Elizabeth's tried that; it doesn't help her. She's tried ZQL. She's tried the CBD gummies. She tried melatonin. None of that works for her, dude.
How much melatonin did you take? A lot of
I
people
think she
take
takes
too
like
much.
2 of them or something like that.
Yeah,
Just
that's
2
way
gummies.
too much.
She
That'll
only
fuck
takes like
you
2
up.
gummies.
A lot of people take too much melatonin, like because they sell them in the either the capsules or they sell them in
Mhm.
the the powdered compressed pills,
Yeah.
and they come in like 3 to 5 milligram, and you only
Yeah.
need literally like a fourth of a milligram. If you take more than that, it actually, for me, it fucks me up. It makes it harder to sleep if you take too much. So if you cut it, like seriously cut the fuck out of it, and just do a little bit, and then go right to bed, you're good. But if you miss that like
Okay.
30 to 45-minute window after you take it, then it's harder to fall asleep. So you want to take it like right when you get in bed.
See, that's the problem. She can't sleep at all, regardless. So, I mean, even if she laid in the bed for like half an hour, she'd miss her window of sleeping.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. So what? She has like insomnia or something.
And pretty much.
Yeah.
that shit sucks, dude. That's what I struggled with a lot before I started smoking regularly. Now I sleep like a baby.
I should never smoke with Lulu.
Yeah, I mean it's something. Like obviously sleep's a huge deal, and you got to get that shit taken care of. But
Fuck it. And the entire time, I felt like I was being crushed by something. You know, like imagine if someone's like trying to fold you in half. You know, like
Hmm.
you know, like from the waist, and like someone's like trying to crush you and fold you in half. And the entire time, I'm just like trying to like resist it. So I'm just like, I'm always like just constantly fighting like back. Yeah, like the point where I was like that for like a good half an hour, just trying to like fight back being crushed.
Really? Because it's weird. Because like that sounds like an exaggeration of what I feel. I feel like I'm sinking more so. Like I don't know if it's because your dosage was freaking off the roof or something, but
I
usually when I
fucking
feel,
no
I feel
idea,
like I'm
dude.
sinking.
I think I think you took a lot. That's what I'm pretty sure you took a
Yeah,
lot.
shaking is not. That's not
No.
what you want ever.
I've
And I-
smoked a lot, and I've only shaken when I've like overdone it.
Yeah.
I've had that
Like
happen, but it's
I
usually when
read
get
like
really
I
wild.
read that like apparently you get the shakes more commonly if you're anxious when you take it,
Yeah, that's
which makes
true.
sense. This is my very first time ever being high. Like I've never been drunk. I've never been high. It's my first time just jumping right into it. I thought, "Oh, I'll just take a quarter of this brownie that Lulu gave me, and I thought I'd be fine. And at first I thought too, because like from I took it at 10, and I didn't feel it till like 3 in the morning. So that's a good like 5 hours before it hit me.
Digestion.
No, yeah, that's edibles, dude, for you. Like, that's why I think that's why once I remember giving Lulu some, and she was like, "This ain't shit," and it wasn't until like later that night where she felt it, and it's like, dude, yeah, the window's massive. It's pretty ridiculous.
It
How
varies
much time you have
so
to
much
consider.
by person to person too. Like some people it hits quicker, some people, yeah, for you, it takes fucking hours. That's why
Yeah.
edibles are like almost a day activity. You're high for a really long fucking time, and it takes a long fucking time to kick in. So it's pretty much like a whole day affair, if not half day affair.
Yes, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Like I've never done this before.
Next time you need to consult them.
More, yeah, fuck. I could consult way more people than just Lulu. Like,
Get you a shaman.
Yeah, because when you said that you took it, I was like, at first I'm like, oh well, it's probably small enough that it'll be fine. But yeah, like if somebody else is making that batch, dude,
I get. Let's see if I can post a picture.
I
Like,
can
I took a
trust
picture of how big it is.
like when you get one from a dispensary, like that is measured out. Like
Yeah.
if it says 10 milligrams, it's 10 fucking milligrams like on the dot. When you make them by yourself, it's literally it is a crapshoot. Like I made them by myself, or I made them myself too, and some brownies are like throw you through the goddamn. They throw you to the stratosphere, and then some. It's like you don't feel anything. It's so fucking hard to keep it consistent.
Man, if I ever decide to do it again, I'm gonna take a fourth of it and cut it into 4 pieces, like make it smaller than what it was. But like the entire time, like I was completely immobile.
Yeah, it's
Like I
couch
couldn't
lock, dude.
move, so it's like, why does anybody want to do this? Like, make yourself fucking retarded? Like, come on, dude.
Well, think about it. You did relax at some point. You did get the best sleep. It's just you went through all that bull crap of getting to that point.
You just gotta
But-
not take as much, and then you get the good stuff without the bad stuff.
I remember this one. I remember this one clearly. Like, I was convulsing really fucking bad, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!" Like, what if this isn't like the weed? What if it's like
What
I
if
have
I'm
a con-
dying?
Cause like
Yeah,
I was
that's
like
the
when I was chilling with Elizabeth taking care of her, I was like kind of like we were laying down, so I was kind of like in and out of sleep a little bit. And you know how like people say don't fall asleep when you have a concussion.
Oh,
So I thought
you're
like
extra
what if I had some weird concussion and I was drifting in and out of sleep and this triggered it and I'm fucked. Like what if I'm like this permanently? So I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna tell my mom?
That's one of the easiest ways to fuck yourself up mentally, or like have a bad
yeah.
trip is when you start thinking of that shit.
Yeah, then
I
I'm
always
like-
just remind myself, it's like I took a drug and gonna wear off, and and then it always works out.
Yeah, like I told Elizabeth, I'm like shit, dude, this shaking's so bad, it's like permanent Parkinson's.
Dude, yeah,
It's
you
like
sounds like you
it
took
was-
like
it was
5
bad,
times as
man.
much as you probably should have for the first time.
It was nuts, dude.
Especially as the first time. I mean, how do you smoke at all?
No, I never
Yeah.
smoked.
You
I
went
don't
from,
even
like,
drink. I I've never even gotten drunk, dude.
In the weed world, you went from sober to like meth. Like,
Pretty much. Seriously, man. If you just take a toke or two, you just get that nice relaxed feeling. You get the giggly feelings. It's just nice. Yeah, edibles, I don't even do them much anymore because it honestly is sometimes more uncomfortable than it is nice.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword to me sometimes. And it's weird because back to what Shane was saying, like it's a completely different high. Yeah, like you can't even like that high that you get, it's like you classify it entirely different as like smoking high.
Yeah. For me, it's like a psychedelic high almost. Like it reminds me, taking an edible reminds me more of taking acid than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
So-
think having
okay.
done it in the past makes some of that come up, like makes it feel more familiar to
Yeah.
that other one. But it's definitely much more of a in your head, like kind of brain fuck up, than smoking is.
Fucking, it was a wild ride. Like I had no idea. Like I said, I've never been drunk. So
Yeah.
and I've never been high. So I had no idea what
You
to
should have
expect.
messaged me, man. I can give you the lowdown.
I had no idea.
you,
I was like, son of a bitch.
you didn't see anything crazy? Like,
I didn't see anything crazy. Like at most, like of course I was in a dark room where just my monitors are kind of like on.
Yeah.
So like all I can see is like the light from the monitors illuminating the room, and everything. Like you know how that music video Take On Me, how like it turns into like a sketch.
yeah.
That's what the walls and everything look like.
Yeah,
was like a
everything gets so much more
sketch.
vibrant and like colorized, like an artistic, like that filter in Photoshop you put on, right? Like that fucking turns everything into like chalky color.
Yeah, exactly.
They shouldn't get a ripple in time like me.
That's crazy, man. A ripple in time. What happened?
That was whack. I got scared. I thought I could rewind time by putting my hand in like portal I could see. And I started sliding it like like an Apple tablet. I could see like events playing in front of me that I've seen in my life. I
That's
was
wild.
"Whoa." I'm like, Janine, do you see that? See what? I explained it to her. And like, I can see it with my ojos.
No. Me and Sam dropped acid on a boat in Vietnam, and
Oh.
it was like a small little. It wasn't a cruise ship. It was more like there's like you could fit 10 people on there, and there was an open spot on the deck and up above, like on the ceiling. And we took it later, and we went up there and just like stared at the crazy mountains around us, dude. It was fucking insane. Like I could see faces and like images like moving around and like doing a play almost in front of me from the mountains and the water. It was unbelievable. You see some crazy shit. It's fun though.
That was awesome.
It was honestly.
Enjoy nature and just
you feel so connected. It's ridiculous. I think everyone who is mildly interested in consciousness should take it once just to see what the brain is capable of, because it kind of changes everything you think about and how your fucking brain even works. And it also makes sense why so many like religions and a bunch of other shit was founded, because like I can see back in the day if people took mushrooms or some of the nature, there's all kinds of psychedelic compounds out there you can eat that are from nature. I
Mhm.
could see someone creating a god or creating some sort of Greek goddess from that kind of shit. You
I
feel
don't
so connected and so like
Somebody who's
spiritual. It's
responsible.
weird.
Somebody's
see. I don't think I'd ever
responsible
do this
for
again.
life.
To be honest, like it was an interesting feeling, and it's like it's a first. It's like it's something brand new to me, and I felt it was pretty. It was a fun ride, but to be like retarded and like locked into your bed the entire night, it seems like a waste of
But see,
my damn time.
but
Like
see, it's one of those things you'd have to try a couple of times because it's not all trips are gonna be like that. They're
You
gonna
should
have
just
one.
not do edibles, probably.
see, like I
You
wouldn't
should just do it
smoke
smoke.
it either
Smoke
because
just
it's
a
just the
little bit.
fucking smell, dude. Like
Eating
even like
it's a
like when I was
tastes like
eating
shit.
when I was eating it, like I was just gagging the entire time, dude.
Yeah, they taste like ass, dude. Especially when they're homemade, because it's not as easy to infuse the flavor in there. It's just like
Mhm.
you get little chunks, basically, almost of actual fucking cooked weed, and it does make you gag. Like I have a hard time eating that shit. I made a whole fucking plate of brownies once, and I threw half them away because like they're so disgusting to eat.
I used to eat the weed stems. Like I would just put stems in my mouth and chew on them like toothpaste. So, I don't know. So it might be different for you.
You do have to cook them first, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, maybe work your way back up to it if that's something you want to explore. Because like all your trips aren't going to be like that. That's just that particular one. Like they do hit you differently.
And like I would classify an edible as a trip, but I would not classify smoking a trip unless you smoke a shit
Okay.
ton. Cause yeah, edibles, like I said, give you a lot of mind fuck. Like you just like what you were saying, you think time slows down a lot, and like you start thinking a little
Yeah.
weird, like existence. Like you said, you were a body, like you were a Gundam pilot inside your body. You know, technically not wrong. You're basically just your brain, right, controlling this
Yeah.
fucking body. But you don't
The
get that
ultimate
as
trip.
much when you're smoking.
That's why you do that shit when you're younger, dude.
Yeah.
Because you could just say that you've done it, and you're already wasting time playing League anyway. So
True.
fuck it. At this point, it's a little hard.
And then you don't really know as much, so you're not really worried about it dying as much either.
Yeah.
You think you're invincible, so it's like nothing can kill you unless like there's something really going on. I mean, but weed or drugs in general, dude, especially weed, because I had a friend. We were just smoking one time, and he had Kansas City for the first time. We were at a friend's house smoking in an apartment, and he just started panicking, like to the point where he made us call an ambulance, and like he got an ambulance ride to the hospital and everything, and
Jesus.
he was just having a panic attack because it mixed with him wrong. He got in his head thinking he couldn't breathe, and like because he had to start manually breathing because he was so high that like he was just like basically super aware of it, and
Yeah.
he thought that he had to take over. And well, when you try to manually breathe, you don't necessarily get the rhythm right all the time. And basically, it was funny as hell because we met him at the hospital, and the doctor, like, we walked in, and the doctor was like, "He's just high. He'll be all right."
It's just baked, dude.
And it's funny because as soon as like we were telling him that, like, hey dude, you're just high, I mean, just chill out, you just gotta relax. And as friends, he's he knows what he knows. He knows he's fucking dying. But as soon as the doctor told him that, like, he was like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
somebody professional like had to tell him, bro, you're just high, you'll be all right. And then he's just like
Whenever
instantly calmed down.
whenever I get to a point like that where I start thinking some weird shit, I got like two go-tos. One is totally change the setting or what I'm doing. So like if I'm watching TV and I start fucking thinking a little bit too hard about shit, then I
Hmm.
just like go to my computer or something and like start playing guitar or start doing something else and like
Hmm.
totally change the lighting, totally change the music, totally change everything. And it almost always works. Or eating, like grab something, eat something, that grounds the fuck out of you too.
Yeah, see, what works for me is kind of like what you said with your first one. What works for me is I put my brain in a different place. Like the setting is like that particular setting is like um allowing me to fucking think like that. So what I would do, a thing that I actually really enjoy doing is like playing a game on my phone or something, just something that'll like distract me from like other thoughts, something that actually draw me in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kind of get me out of that headspace.
I can see how people use that shit creatively though, because you hear about all these artists who are total potheads, right? But seriously, there's something behind that, man. Because like whenever I play guitar and I'm fucking baked, it is a different experience, man. You think of shit you never would have thought of. Like it honestly brings out some different like angle of thinking that I don't know. You can get really involved in like anything you're working on, and it's awesome.
So FYI, we might not use all of this at all.
Yeah.
You know, this is a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fair enough.
Now the weed cast.
It's probably about
The
time to
weed
change the
cast.
topic.
I want to talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
Talk about what?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tatsuya.
What?
That's what I'm saying. What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it really.
Ghost of
Just
Tsunami?
Ghost of Orb of Tsunami.
I mean, I can start talking about it if you guys want to. But
So tell me about it, dude. Did you actually like look in depth on it, like some good research?
yeah, because this is like Ghost of Tsushima is like kind of like it's a samurai game. It's kind of like a set like somewhere in the past, right?
The Edo
Um,
period.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an open world game.
Oh, isn't that the one where like the environments are like fucking filled with like leaves and like really
Yeah, there's a
pretty?
lot
Yes,
of leaves,
there's leaves in the
a lot of
world.
cherry blossoms, a lot of that stuff. But no, it's pretty cool because they just revealed a 10-minute gameplay. Before that, they only revealed like I think like a minute, and we haven't really seen much about it. So everyone's like, "Is this game going to be good? Is this game going to be just another open world game?" So nobody really had an idea. So, dude, the 10 minutes were fucking good. Like,
What did you like about it? What was different enough about it that made you be like, "This is a game I'd play"?
okay, so the thing is, it's not different enough.
Or or similar enough to what you like, I guess.
No, yeah, it just takes a lot of aspects of like other games and just kind of like makes it like as good as it should be. So, like the first thing that came to mind that a lot of people think about is actually Breath of the Wild when it comes to the open world.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you guys played Breath of the Wild or not, but
Yep.
I played a little bit of it. So doesn't in Breath of the Wild it doesn't really like tell you where to go, right? You're just kind of in a sandbox and you just kind of figure shit out.
They kind of show you like some of the like abilities and shit you can get, or kind of like what key points are on the map. But other than that, it's like do what you want.
Yeah, so this is the exact same like idea, and that's what I heard a lot of people talking about. So you're pretty much dumped into the sandbox, and it's weird because there's no like waypoints. Like you can go into your map and put a waypoint, sure, but what guides you is the fucking wind. So you literally like you go into your menu and you just let the wind, and the wind you see a wind current in the game, and it literally leads you to the destination where you want to
That's
go.
pretty cool.
So the idea is like there's supposed to be like either the wind's gonna tell you where to go, animals will go up to you and like literally be right next to you and like lead you a certain direction.
Yeah.
What?
And that's how they're gonna introduce all like main story missions, sub missions, and everything like point of interest and all that kind of stuff. There's like
Nature.
there's like little to no HUD in this game.
It's like subconsciously like, hey, look, this deer is going this way. That's cool because in Breath of the Wild, I know with the world design, they would actually put certain mountains in the way so you couldn't see other like objectives further away that you shouldn't go to.
Mhm.
They purposely like manipulated the world map so like you saw certain things and that would lead you to like, oh, I see this town over here, maybe I should go over there. And it made it feel like it's your decision.
Oh yeah,
Map
like
design is underrated.
hell yeah. So just like we were saying, like if you actually stay over a mountain, you can kind of see like areas of interest. Like everything's like super vibrant. You can see like a fire off in the distance. You can see I think there's a volcano somewhere too. And it's all like I'm pretty sure you could go to it, but it's just like I don't know. I haven't played enough Breath of the Wild or even beaten it, but it just sounded like it took a lot of those elements and are doing it that way.
Breath of the Wild was fantastic.
It was.
And then after that they ended up showing actual gameplay. The gameplay to me I'm kind of 50-50 on because there's two play styles. You can either play as a samurai or a ninja. As a samurai, yeah, it seemed pretty dope. Like there's stance switching, which is kind of cool. Like you can switch from like a water stance to like an earth stance to like all these different stances, and apparently against certain enemy types, it does like, you know, it counters them or it does more damage to them or something like that,
Mm.
which is kind of pretty cool. And then obviously you could play as the ninja and do stealth, like just like throw firecrackers, assassinate people from behind. But I don't know, it kind of reminded me of Assassin's Creed a little bit in that regard.
Yeah, I'm watching the video now, and it does have like an Assassin's Creed kind of S to it. Like, cause I watched some of like the combat, like sneaking up, and like the final like killing blows and stuff, and then also like climbing this fucking mountain. This dude kind of did well. Not, it wasn't really climbing the mountain. It was like climbing the other shit connected to the mountain or whatever. But
Yeah,
it actually looks pretty dope, to be honest.
yeah,
Kinda-
because
I didn't even hear about it till just now.
that's what I'm saying. Like, well, there hasn't been much of anything really. I mean, like I said, there's been small demos, but nothing to this extent. We didn't know
Is
how
it,
the world was gonna look. We didn't know how we were gonna play.
is
All
it
that stuff.
PS exclusive?
Yep. That's
Oh dang! I thought it wasn't.
no. Well, that's why people were kind of excited. They're like, "Oh shit, this is like a flagship exclusive title," and like no one's really excited for it because it's a new IP, right?
I think it's probably
Yeah.
being overshadowed because of the PS5 coming out and all that stuff. So
Well-
people are waiting for those announcements instead.
I think they announced Paper Mario on the same day, or the new Paper Mario game.
Oh,
Mhm.
That looks pretty
Anyone
good
like
too.
that?
Does anybody like that?
I don't know. I never played it, so I don't know if it's good or.
It's
Well,
a
it's
a turn-based RPG.
no.
It's like
Well, guess
a-
what? This one isn't this way.
Whoa!
Like it sucks. They changed it. It used to be an RPG where you actually like, attack and do all that, simple RPG stuff. But now it's like a weird puzzle where you like rotate enemies, and then you like execute and jump on them. It's
Tetris.
like no, it's
Oh yeah,
weird.
it's like a circle grid thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call it at that point. Maybe it is an RPG with more of a mechanic to it, but I don't know. I didn't like it.
It looks weird.
It looks really weird. But the presentation's on point. Like the whole game looks
Oh.
fucking awesome.
Oh,
But when I
the
saw the
origami
gameplay,
style game, yeah, that shit looks nice.
yeah, so I wasn't too sure about that. But we'll see. But no, like, yeah, it goes to Tsushima. It's made by the Sucker Punch guys. The last game they made was fucking infamous.
Yeah, Last Sun, wasn't
Ooh.
it? Or was
First Light.
that-
Oh, First Light was a DLC. So
yeah, that's right.
Second Son was but yeah,
Second Son,
technically.
there you go.
But yeah. I mean, so it's cool seeing them make a more mature game that's actually especially Samurai. It's like out of their realm.
Yeah.
They haven't really done anything like that. They normally do like fun superpower playground bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, even those games were pretty good. So I know I got a platinum on in the first Infamous.
Yeah.
So they're still.
That's just old.
What was that game where you had a couple different forms and you could like have a blade form and like a spider form and shit, and it was like a free roam kind of thing, like Spider-Man 2 or some shit. Prototype, there it is.
Oh.
yeah.
That was a fantastic game.
Oh yeah, that was like the direct competitor to Infamous, but it was the more rated M version of it. That shit got bloody. That shit was like mature rating for
That was
sure.
a fun fucking game.
Yeah, I'm watching this video, some of this gameplay. I would say it's like I would say it's more of a mix of Assassin's Creed and like Red Dead.
What do you guys think of Assassin's Creed? I've tried a couple of them and I can never get into them.
Man, so I started following Assassin's Creed when they first came out. The very first one, I was all for it. The second one, the story and everything, all for it. And then it's just like, Fast and the Furious, man. They just like stop. I will say, I will say the Vikings. I'm kind of exciting for it, but I think that's more just because I really like the Vikings. You know what I mean? I really like Vikings, like TV shows and like the whole like Thor and Loki and all that. But yeah, like I said, they were good at first. They've definitely fucked up a few of them, I think, and I think they should just stop at some point.
Such a moneymaker though. Like everyone buys that shit. Fuck.
Is it really? I haven't looked up the numbers for it, man. Is it really like? Does it sell like that? Because I know a lot of people were excited about the Egypt one.
console guys.
Yeah, like the big next gen one was the Egypt one, because before that they were all like it was like the same engine, so they all kind of looked the same.
The Egypt
It was-
one, dude, honestly, like they get the locations on point. Like the
Oh
scenery,
no,
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is crazy how good it looks, but I feel like the gameplay is just kind of gross.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. What was it? Ubisoft was the ones who first came out with it. And that was just the whole gripe because Ubisoft was fucking shit up at that point. But I mean, there's stories like the different points in time, like where they had the freaking Native American guy basically in the Revolutionary War, where he was an assassin, and they did one like on water, with pirates and shit. Like those are all dope. You know what I mean? Those are all very dope points and like stories to make after. But maybe they should just transition to like an animated series and not like a game. I don't fucking know.
Wasn't there a movie?
There was a movie, and the movie actually didn't do too bad. It felt kind of rushed, but I mean that's with anything. Like if you try to take anything with, several hours and hours of gameplay and cram it down to 2, you know what I mean? It's definitely always gonna feel rushed.
Not Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Assassin's Creed. It's like well, I think it used to be every year. It's like every 2 years now, but still.
They were pumping those things out for a while, man. Holy shit.
Fucking popping them up like daisies, dude.
Dude, because
so much money. It's so easy.
yeah, there used to be a story, dude.
Scenery. That's it. So
Well, and that's the thing too. I can't follow the story now because I like at a certain point, like after the third one, when they started coming out with like the multiplayer and shit. That's kind of when I really got out of it. But like
What?
the story, dude, yeah, that was shit. We're not gonna go there right
My
now.
first one was Brotherhood, and I thought that was great.
That's why you thought it was great because you didn't play the actual good ones. You
Dude,
played the shit
Brotherhood
ones.
was good though. What are you talking about?
No, Brotherhood was shit. Brotherhood
Dude, it was
straight
the
shit.
Ezio trilogy, dude. Come on.
Yeah, Ezio was dope, and then like I said, they just expanded on shit where they just need to not like take Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, shit like that. A lot of the hype behind those is because people are allowed to like build their own ideas off of like what they've seen. And I think when they go into too much detail and they try to build too much off of it, then you kind of take that away.
Well, yeah, I mean, they kind of got in trouble because, like, at first it was like what? It was Templars versus the Assassins, I guess,
Yeah, it was the
right?
Templars.
And then they introduced fucking aliens
What? They did?
and like other
Jeez.
fucking like worldly bullshit that influences like with their objects and yeah, but they're like they're kind of like they look like humans either way, and it's just like where the fuck are we going with this?
See,
Yeah,
that's where it got that's where it got crazy.
That reminds me of like Saints Row, where it started off as like a GTA clone where they wanted to get in on that market. And then they're just like, well, GTA is gonna win, so let's just make shit weird.
Yeah, let's make it fucking comical and see how far we can get.
And they got pretty fucking far.
There used to be a story, and then I think Black Flag and like even Unity or something, like one of the games was just straight up a company that was like, "Hey, come check out this world." So you literally play it as a guy going into like a VR, and then you just go into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they stopped giving a fuck about the real world and just made it seem like just somebody walking up to a machine, going into VR, going to the past.
Right, like they're going to play a game. You know what I mean?
And that's how they introduced it.
I really like the aspect of like the first and second one where it was like, hey, like this dude has a specific bloodline and they need to follow his bloodline, like his memories from his ancient elders, because they need to find this thing. You know what I mean?
Like the Apple of Eden and pieces of
right,
like ancient
right.
artifacts and stuff.
I would say they could have stayed away from the fucking aliens, you know what I mean, and just kept it whatever. But like kept the artifacts, like and put some other story to them. I don't know about this alien shit. Because you would find certain artifacts and stuff, and it would unlock like another piece of like a vision from way back
Dude,
when.
the visions were so badass because like they were about Adam and Eve, except it was kind of like futurology. Almost,
Right.
you collect these sequences, and it would play out like Adam and Eve from like a future setting. It was just really bizarre. It was kind of cool.
Right. It was one. I like when they do shit like that where it's like a past setting, but they got like future technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this because that's essentially what it was about. Like the Apple of Eden was like a super technology from way back in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to try Vikings though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it. It looks good. I liked it.
All right, boys, we're gonna talk about this. I want to hear you guys' opinions. All right, boys.
This better be good.
This is going to be a great great time. Recently, there's this Twitch streamer that apparently became part of the Twitch Safety Advisory Council. It's a new thing. I don't know what's going on with all that stuff. I don't care. But
Sounds
I'm,
important.
it's pretty much a group of people that are like, okay, Twitch hired these guys to kind of like talk to them about like how do we fix all the stuff that people are getting
Okay,
upset
never
about
mind,
over
alright.
Twitch. Yeah, and it feels like it's not really going to be a big thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But out of all the people are the most upset about this one person who seems like she has skewed views about politics, but I'm going to totally ignore that. The one thing that I really want to focus on is the one thing that's targeting competitive gaming, which she feels pretty much, to summarize it all, she's saying that non-standard voices are being treated unfairly in a professional solo competitive environment, and she feels that because of that, voice chat needs to be completely non-existent.
Like from all games,
From
or
from
just competitive games.
from just competitive solo play.
So wait, so if you're going to a solo queue
Mhm.
into like League of Legends, chat is just non-existent.
Yep.
But
Voice
uh,
chat should just not be a thing, apparently, according
voice
to
chat.
her.
I mean, options are good, no? So like, why not just give the people the option to disable?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why
They
can't they
gave
just
you the option
disable it?
for it.
If they want to be a little crybaby and they can't handle it, then I mean, yeah, there's some dirty old shit that gets said on voice chat. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
but you can always turn it off.
It's not mandatory.
Every game you can turn it off in every game.
Well, I think the biggest argument about that is it's fucking dumb. Um, just for the simple fact that like expect the keyword is competitive. So you think of like ranked and shit like that. So that means people trying to be more than just the casual, right? So in competitive in any game that requires teammates in hell, in war, in life, in every fucking aspect is communication. So you're just saying get rid of communication in competitive altogether. That's just that alone sounds dumb as hell to me.
And I'll also give you guys a quote that she said. She said, "The point is, if you have a feminine voice, you're less likely to succeed in competitive play because your teammates aren't going to respect you or they're going to harass you." And
Yeah,
in exchange for that, she's saying she wants she wants a more robust system, like to communicate with everybody, kind of like a more robust ping system or something. Maybe something
yeah.
similar to
Which games they're
Smite.
making?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe something more similar to Smite. But I feel like regardless, even if you do that, like obviously Nod can back me up on this. Is even when people make calls on those, I'll call them retarded because it's like, no, that's a stupid call. Like, I feel like it doesn't matter like what voice is coming out in the end. It's just like, what are you trying to say? Do I agree with it? Yes or no? Okay.
Hmm.
Well, it's kind of weird because, like, obviously we're in the audience. Like, if we did hear feminine voice, I don't think anyone of us would like trash talk or like berate people because, like, you see these voice comms come out for any other game like Overwatch or
Mm-hmm.
COD or anything. Just once somebody hears it, they throw a generic ass joke, and you know, I mean, is that something growth from a like somebody who's more feminine trying to be good at the game? Is that making them stop playing because they have to talk to their teammates and they get
I've
berated?
seen it, I've seen
Yeah,
it in voice chat. Like some guys are just huge cockheads. It's very true, and I can see where they'd come from, but
Hmm.
it's a pretty big
it's
ask.
hard.
Like, there's no way you can make every game have a robust ping system that disables chat for solo competitive gaming. Like good luck. Like, it's not just gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
the best thing they can do is try to do workarounds and
Or
help. I don't know.
maybe a game should start it off as disabled on by default, and people who want to talk in chat can enable it themselves.
Yeah. I think Paladins actually does that. Actually, now that I remember. So
It's too bad that the environment is so toxic sometimes.
Hmm.
That's true. It's shitty.
I mean, but whether or not they put that, whether or not they put a system in there where they enable or disable voice chat, at the end of the day, you already have that power by plugging in your mic or not plugging it in.
Exactly.
So I mean, her whole argument is about the feminine thing, and by having a feminine voice. My bad, which is I mean, shit. To be honest, man, it does suck, and dudes are like that, especially online. You know what I mean? And I do understand her argument towards females because that's how they are. But I think by getting rid of the female voice, by getting rid of a system like that,
I feel like
is
you're
only going to
giving
make
in.
it. Yeah, it's only going to make it worse because you're making the female voice in games less normal. Like more women should talk. Become more of a thing because there's always been this stigma up until a few years ago, really, where it was like, oh, girls don't play games. You know what I mean? So when guys did hear a girl female voice, it was shocking to them. You know what I mean? And the only way to really get
Yeah.
rid of that is to make, your voice heard more, not get rid of it entirely. Because I mean, it sucks, dude. But that's just the world you live in. I mean,
I,
if you want to make that argument, black people have been talking about that forever.
I feel like we're going through the same thing we went through with a lot of other things with women, which is weird because it's like, women voting, women, that shit. Like, it always took time. And I think that gaming itself has become more accepted in the last 5 years. I mean, think when we were in high school, any parent I ever knew, and my parents are like, "Why are you playing all these fucking games?" And now it's become much more normalized. But now we're going through the same thing where it's not as normal for women because not as many women play it. So you get that stigma. I think in another 5 years it'll be different when it's a lot more equal playing ground with people growing up, that it's not a stigma. Not only guys play video games, because that went away a while ago now.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just got to get a little further.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
It's taking the steps, and it's just going to take the time.
yeah, I mean,
It
what's
sucks.
interesting
It's
to
fucking stupid,
me
but it's the way
is
it
that
is.
she's specifically saying solo, which is like from a team play. Like if you're competitive, and most games are team games, you usually have a team that you play with. I
Right.
feel like consecutively, and you know them, and you're all trying to reach this goal of trying to be competitive. So I can't help but think that if you are more inclined to play ranked, that your teammates would actually care to win and not put all that stuff aside. Because if you're playing like unranked casual stuff, dude, that's where everything goes. That's where all the toxicity goes, I feel like.
I think she worded it the way she did was because, um, like, obviously, if you're playing with a team, it's going to be people she's played with that don't give a shit that she's a female or that are used to playing it. I think she worded it the way she did because if she's playing with random people, which is why she meant solo. But like I said, it's just it's gonna be, it sucks. It's a shitty thing, and not, if she ever hears this, not all of us are like that. But people use the internet, especially game chats, to just say and be stupid.
It's
Say
not
stupid
and it's
shit,
not like it's just women either. I mean, I've played Counter Strike and I've done shit and I've gotten fucking beat the fuck down in voice chat before. It's not just them. Like
Yeah, that's true.
anyone can get fucking harassed on there. You just gotta think of it as, I'm never gonna see these fuckers again. So who the fuck cares?
Right.
Yeah, I
It,
mean, I'd be curious to see like how often somebody does get berated. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a video out there where, like, I don't know, every other game they play, it happens or something. Because I'm actually like, I don't know about that.
well, one of her arguments was that, like, if we were playing with her right now and I called out something and she called out something, my call out would have more weight because I'm a man. Wasn't that one of her arguments?
Yeah, that's pretty much what she's trying to say with
And see, I mean, I guess, like I said, unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But it's, especially in gaming, it's drastically changing. And I bring that up to say, like, dude, I've seen, that's not true for me because from some of the Twitch previews I've seen and some of the girl gamers I've seen out there, like, they can do way more shit than I would do. So if I heard them be like, "Hey, let's go over here," well, fuck it, let's go. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I think there's a lot more elements that pertain to that as well.
I ain't never seen her play, so maybe her gameplay isn't up to par to where people want to listen to her. I don't know if that's the case and she's misinterpreting it, but
Apparently, she was one of the top 10 in Heroes of the Storm.
what?
I was thinking, I agree with whoever said it. That if you're gonna be up in those ranks, you definitely should already be, or if not, be looking for a team to kind of vibe with, and
Right.
Right.
You're signing up to play the game. You know, if not saying that harassment is okay, but it's the world we live in, and especially with the anonymous nature of video games, you're gonna get the worst side of people, and it's probably not gonna change anytime soon. So
I
it's like,
mean,
if you want to shut it off,
yeah.
you can shut it off. Everyone deals with it. I've dealt with it. Every guy I know who played competitive dealt with getting shit talked. It's just
Well, the problem is,
yeah.
like she's not complaining. I mean, she is complaining about the shit talking or whatever, but what she's suggesting is scrapping a whole fucking system because she feels unfair, which doesn't seem fair to me. To like,
Mhm.
you know what? Fuck it. Nobody talks because they
Because
don't
I
listen.
don't feel comfortable. Yeah,
Right.
I don't like that either.
I mean, and then it goes back to like I said earlier, dude. Like, you know, if you want to change it, fucking speak up more. Like, make your shit known. Like,
Mhm.
it sucks that you have to do that and you have to fight for that, but it's the world, you know. And if you don't fucking do it, then it ain't never gonna change.
Most you
So,
can do is report the toxicity and hope that the game, the developers or whatever, can ban them accordingly or
right.
temporarily disable their account. That's the most you can actually hope for.
Yeah.
And like we've said before, man, changes like especially for the female in the gaming world within the last 5 years, I believe they've made leaps and bounds. You know, as far as their reputations go
Hmm.
in gaming, and you know that shit doesn't change overnight. It's just keep progressing. Shit, go ahead, girl, get it. You know what I mean?
The cruel fact is that there are people who are shitheads, and there are a
Yes,
lot of them. There are a lot of
and
them,
not
and they're very vocal. They are not. They're the minority, but they're also the vocal minority, which is why you hear them the most.
and it's not to just females, dude.
Fuck no.
You can literally be doing good, about average, then you make one stupid play in whatever
Yeah.
fucking game, and now you're just under a fucking gun getting
The
harassed.
same guy who harasses a female in voice chat on a video game is the same guy who harasses every teammate he's ever had in every game.
Hmm.
Serious, it is. No average gamer like us who just plays to because it's their leisure time. They like playing games. They're not the ones doing that shit.
Hmm.
I don't think most of us even talk anyways, because we're all like I don't know about you guys, but I like rarely use voice comms in game.
Yeah,
I'd rather just be in a channel with people that I know and play the game. You know.
Right.
yeah, that's how
Well,
I am as well.
yeah, and that goes off of what you were saying earlier. Like whenever we play competitively, like even when we play Warzone, we're not in like game chat. We're here in Discord with our boys. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not
Yeah.
just with random people.
If anything, I like
At least
hearing
we're competitive.
people. You know, if you can prove you're a better player and you shit on people and you're competitive, then that's the sweeter feeling.
Let's say it did get removed tomorrow for whatever reason. Like we lived in a world where what she wanted came to fruition, and then now we're here. What system do you think would be put in place in order to replace voice comms, or like what would
I
be
don't
the
think there is
solution?
one. I really don't. There's no equivalent. I don't care what ping system you have. It's not the same. It never. It's impossible. Nothing
Like
communicates something as directly and as instant as talking to someone.
Hmm.
everyone has like a decoder on their voice when they talk or something.
It goes into Microsoft SAM, like, and it translates you and removes any expletives. It's like, go to A, you fucking stupid idiot, and then it's like, please, I would really like you to go to A.
That'd be a boring
Honestly,
world.
I honestly think somebody would just be fucking like super smart assy about it and just create like an app that people would just download that automatically put you in a random Discord channel together and call it good. Like, because people do workarounds like that all the time if it ever comes to stupid shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, if
Especially
you're
and keyword once again competitive. Like if you're just going into random fucking lobby and you don't really care, then no. But like competitive, when people say competitive, competitive players are competitive, and all of them know communication is fucking key, not some stupid ass ping system.
yeah, because like once you're taking like once you're like pressing other keys to ping something, then you're already at disadvantage. Like if you're
Hmm.
playing it competitively, you gotta like the next best thing to use is your voice to
You're
communicate.
wasting your keystrokes.
Yes. Everything counts, you know.
Well, and here's the thing too, in her type of game, which is a MOBA, like in League of Legends, a ping system does work really well without voice, because you have like this sky top down view and you got like a map and you can kind of see and hear these things. This person says, "Look, dude, I'm getting shot from the left." Everybody gonna look to the fucking left. You know what I mean? In a ping system, like in a MOBA like that, if somebody pings
yeah.
all the way on the other side of the map, you're gonna take note, but it's not like you gotta go straight there like in half a second. You know what I mean? It doesn't require the same reaction time.
Yeah,
Not saying the combat, you know what I mean, but if you have time to ping and like, hey, we need help on this lane, you know what I mean, then there's a reaction time, not as fast as anything compared to first person shooting when switching lanes and shit like that. So
yeah, it's a slower type of game. Like it has its like peaks, but most of it's like the lows. Like you're either grinding or walking up
right,
to the lane or
right,
doing something
and
else
if
off
you're
to
in
the
a
side.
battle
Yeah.
with somebody, then you're seeing all the same shit they're seeing because it's all top down. You know what I mean? So you're seeing the whole thing. You don't even need to ping anything because I see the guy over there just like you do. So doing that in all systems competitively, I don't know. Maybe she should just talk to fucking
But
Blizzard and
that's
be
the
like,
weird thing. Like MOBAs don't even have voice comms, so
well, they
what
do. League does, but
does it? I don't.
it
So
it
what is
really
she
does.
complaining about then
Nobody
if her
ever
MOBA
uses.
doesn't have it?
Well,
Does it
Well,
have it?
her MOBA has to have it if she's complaining. She's talking
I
about
don't.
Heroes of the Storm, which is a Blizzard MOBA that
Don't
they
think
came
it
out with.
does. I mean, I played all these MOBAs a while ago, but as far as I knew, MOBAs don't have voice comms.
League does now. As
Does?
yeah,
well,
League
yeah.
does. Yeah.
League does, and Heroes of the Storm has
Is
to, or else what the fuck is she bitching about? Because
does
that's
it?
what she's playing, right?
That is so weird. I remember when Purse made one for League, like an add-on for voice chat.
And
Yeah,
same with Smite.
it's integrated now.
Okay, damn. I mean, that's really interesting. Do you
But
guys even use it?
no,
No.
nobody uses it. Nobody ever
Nobody
fucking
uses it.
uses
No
it.
one talks in there.
It's also why this is such a weird, irrelevant thing. Maybe at the higher ranks of Heroes of the Storm, maybe it's more normal because people who take it that seriously probably take it seriously enough to get in the voice comms.
All 5 people that play it.
Well, see, and
No. It's 6. There's 6 people who play it. There's always one guy in queue.
well, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like specifically to her game, like it sounds like your problem is specifically with that game and that community. And Blizzard, I mean, coming from World of Warcraft and some of StarCraft, like Blizzard community can be toxic. You know what I mean? In the right environments, it can definitely be toxic. So maybe she should just take it up with them and not like generalize it to all competitive games or whatever. Or maybe she did and we misunderstood. I don't know, but I just have to disagree. Just keep using your voice, baby, and guys will get used to it.
And I want to bring up a quote she also said, like 3 quotes, but I feel like it'll give more of a perspective on like where she's coming from as well. So she goes on to say the only way to have a level playing field at the highest level of play is to not have voice chat. To have people
Nope.
give up their linguistic profiles. And then she goes on to say, well, competition, by the way, requires you to get every advantage possible. Then later states that voice chat is unfair, period. And this is for competitive play as well. So she doesn't care about pre-mades, private lobbies. Only she states that for
That's
competitive
so
play.
dumb because like communication, the walkie-talkie like helped in the fucking war so much, and like that's competitive as it fucking gets. You know what I mean? Like that's just I just
Yeah,
super
I don't
disagree.
get it. Like there's a mute all there's something in your settings you could slide the voice chat volume slider all the way down. Like you don't have to hear any of this. Like
Well, now she's trying to say it's like an unfair advantage, but if both teams have it, then it's not an
so
unfair
yeah,
advantage.
so she's essentially saying like if I can't use my voice then no one else can.
Right, because her voice is powerless because she's a female,
Because
is what she's
otherwise
saying.
they have an advantage because they're actually communicating and I'm not able to
Right.
yeah. I mean it's it's complicated, man. I totally understand that. Like that makes perfect sense, but I don't think you can. I don't think you could.
I don't think
do
there's a.
that.
I don't think there's a go. Yeah, I don't think there's a solution for what she's trying to
I think
achieve.
the anonymous nature of video games is always going to bring out the worst in people, regardless. Like
Yeah.
it's you. I don't know if there's any really way around it. You're always going to have toxicity because there's no consequences in real life. If you called, if you started harassing a woman, you're gonna get fired in your job, or you're gonna, something's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
in a video game, there's nothing. You're never gonna see him again probably, and it doesn't matter. So people just spout whatever they want to say because there's nothing that's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then even to her argument that like her feminine voice isn't gonna have as much weight as a male voice when calling out shots. You know what I mean? And I understand. Like, it just goes back to saying I understand that, but that doesn't mean you scrap a whole fucking system just because your calls aren't being answered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect ideal, if she wants us to be in a perfect competitive setting for everyone, then everyone should be using the same mouse, keyboards, computer settings, graphical settings, and
Processors, yeah.
everything. It's like what are you arguing about? This.
She's trying to fix a human problem, and you can't fix a human problem.
Yeah.
She's trying to fix feminism in the fucking gaming world, and it's just not gonna happen overnight. Like, it's just not. I say just shut the fuck up and get your kills, baby, and then they're gonna be like, "Holy shit, she's good." Maybe next time.
I mean, if
call
I don't
something
prove
out.
myself in an online game, I get berated in voice chat. It's the same kind of thing.
By all
If
of
this-
us.
There's exactly. There, I think you guys were mentioning this earlier, how you don't really talk to other people too much. You usually get in the Discord and whatnot. See, I feel like I might be the exception to that because I love fucking talking to Randys for some reason.
I'll talk to them only when I solo queue. I feel like, especially in Valorant recently, but that's I mean, most of it is just like a generic, like, hey, he's over. I died over here. Hey, I see the bomb over here.
That's
Yeah.
the way
About it.
you should do a pretty cool video where you have you playing Valorant and have Janine talk and just see what happens.
Oh, see, like she
good
makes the
experiment.
calls out.
And, yeah, or make calls or something and see how people reply in that game.
Honestly, we're gonna get the big trolls. Like, they'll be like, "Make me a sandwich."
Dude, I bet you used to say.
I would need.
It's so sway berating her.
I'm in the other room playing against her. I feel like in order to achieve that to its fullest, I would need a good player. But like Shane would play, and Janine would talk, and Shane's pretty good at Valorant from what I remember. So I feel like the more skillful you are, maybe they'll pay attention to that. And like if she's carrying the team, then they'll obviously we'll see.
So you're saying do a video where you play and fucking suck, and then do a comparative video where Shane plays and does good.
Yeah.
And see how
I don't think Shane is. Probably not.
see if the
But-
call out for it. But like, I don't know, dude. The whole argument to me is just keep playing, keep doing your call outs, and it sucks. But the only way to actually change that and to get the female voice more respected in gaming is to keep putting it out there.
Yeah, I
Because
agree with
there's
that
still
100%.
There's still dickheads who are
Mhm.
just gonna be assholes. But like, when you do come against like some people who are, who are okay, and they still want to actually try to fucking win, they'd be more perceptive. It'd be less of a shock to their system.
There's a stigma still with at least in our generation. Our generation was a generation where guys played video games and girls didn't. I think the next generation that's coming up, like in high school right now, I think that's going to be different. But even right now, like Mickey, she plays quite a few video games, my wife, and she's tried to talk some of her coworkers and her friends of her age into playing some because like their boyfriends have PS4, Switches, whatnot, the whole shebang. And she's trying to get them to play like Stardew Valley and whatnot. And a lot of them just won't even try because it's what nerds do and it's what guys do. It's not what girls do. And I think that's just like so bullshit. Isn't that the same kind of thing we're running into, right? With her getting berated online. That's the same mindset. That's why it's there. Is because for some reason they don't think it's for them either when it's for anybody.
Well, yeah, and they didn't grow up doing it, so it's not appealing. Like, there's certain things that are like really fun. Like, some fucking people play cricket. You know what I'm saying? I've played basketball and football and stuff like that, soccer. Some people play cricket, or fucking, we can even say baseball. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't appeal to me because I didn't grow up playing it. Like, maybe if my parents would have started me playing that in Little League, then it would appeal to me more. But a lot of the females, like going with what you're saying, a lot of females in our generation, they didn't play those games growing up because of the stigmas, nerdy, blah, blah, blah. and they were doing other things. You know what I mean? Which isn't bad. So I understand why it doesn't appeal to them. It's just, and I agree 100%. This next generation, gaming has become so much of a thing, especially after this quarantine. You're gonna have female gamers all over the fucking place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it's not the same anymore. It's become so much more normalized. Technology in general, like
Mhm.
technology when we were growing up was, it was a part of school. It was a lot of, a lot of that, but it wasn't as much of a leisure thing as it is now. Like everyone's got Instagram and all this shit. So people are more exposed to technology and more exposed to maybe advertisements and things of video games. Even mobile games have opened the market up a lot,
Mhm.
where a lot of girls play mobile games now, and that's kind of how it started with guys too. Everyone was playing on their iPhones and stuff, and then PC gaming took off a little bit more, and then it became more popular. I think it's a matter of time before we get more females in the realm of competitive gaming, and maybe hopefully that'll help the problem. There's always going to be bigots, though. I don't know if that's ever going to change in our lifetime.
Right. Well, and I like exactly, and like the key point of what you said was the key word was time. It's a matter of time, and so it's just not going to change overnight. It's only time is going to fucking fix it, and just
People
keep doing
fucking
it.
suck is the moral of the story too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really do. But that's just that's
That's
always that's been
everything in
always
life,
and
though.
forever. You know what I mean?
It's the
That's been
same thing
always.
if a woman walks into a hardware store and is trying to like build the deck or something, do something handy. They get the same stigma with that shit too. It's still around.
I know, and with her argument, it's like, okay, so maybe you just shouldn't have a deck because you're female, because nobody's gonna take you
Yeah, right. So it
Now you
seems
don't
pretty
get a deck.
ridiculous when you take it into a different example.
Now you don't get the fucking deck of your dream, and your man can't cook his barbecue grill and fucking set up his gazebo because you're not going to be taken serious at Home Depot. It's stupid.
That's
You
why I
should
go to
be like, no,
Lowe's.
fuck you. Give me that wood. Give me those 4x2s and shit. And
Give me that wood.
and I'm gonna be yeah.
Yeah, cut that out.
Way to be mature about this.
cut that out. We can cut that out.
We
Cut
won't.
Yeah,